Hey! Hey! Why did I watch that Uma Thurman movie before going to bed? Pulp Fiction is scary. Hey! Who? What are you? I am a sock with balls. Happy New Year! And what would be a better way to start the year than with the Muppets? Who doesn't know the Muppets? Most people nowadays at least has a mental image of the Muppets, especially Kermit the Frog, Piggy the Pig, and Gonzo the alien whose name is more associated with porn. Unless you're around my age and has grown with the cartoon having to deal with Skeeter and the dead Rugrats theory. Some people understood, but most of us, including me, always had it as something just for kids. In fact, Jim Henson himself didn't like his characters to be that limited. That's why after creating Sesame Street, he created sketches for SNL and The Muppet Show, a series directed to the whole family that lasted for 5 seasons and 120 episodes. Unfortunately, after these first seasons, the world became a dark and shadowy place. Exact 9 weeks later, I was born. Not that that's related in any way. The great movies of the decade started focusing on making real the fantasies of kids, creating many great movies like a more realistic Batman that's admired till today.
I'm Batman.
But eventually leading to childish versions comparable to those direct-to-DVD knockoffs.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
But Fernando, why would this be important? Well, there are actually 2 reasons. The biggest one is that we're still seeing the influence of that tendency. A joke is still worth pretending robots go to the bathroom or have balls, and never addressing that again. That probably influenced a lot the fact that variety shows practically died. And, besides their educational avenue, the Muppets were always meant for variety shows, so it's no surprise the attempts to revive the Muppets didn't last very long. The last attempt started with the 2011 movie, The Muppets, the 2014 follow-up, Most Wanted, and our topic for today, the 2015 TV series, The Muppets.
Time to get things started.
The first season isn't even over yet, but I wanted to talk about it for all these reasons, though this review actually started because of a simple comment by John Oliver.
How is this still on? And how did someone somewhere think, you know what the problem with the Muppets is? Kermit doesn't f*** enough pigs.
Yes, that's the first big surprise. Kermit and Piggy, the romance that started when they were just babies and led to a wedding, simply ended. On one hand, this is confusing to older fans and will probably end the way everybody thinks it's gonna, with them getting back together and having their happy ending. On the other hand, having seen the first 10 episodes, that was perfect. Nothing against pigs or even the character Piggy is. I remember liking her in Manhattan, but it was the first time I saw Kermit as the main character. That was apparently always the intention, but I never saw that in the cartoon, and in the movie, even being the story of his play, still seemed more to be the story of his group rather than his own. Kermit is supposed to be something like a less neurotic Woody Allen.
I mean, if you like somebody, you know their state tree, right?
Yours is Magnolia.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Bert is right about you. You're a self-hating Jew.
Hey, I may hate myself, but not because I'm Jewish.
And maybe it's because I was younger or because of the translation, but this is the first time I see a personality in him. Piggy, the group's diva, is now actually a diva, interacting less with the others and being more of a snob.
Oh, well, it's history, so these are things that have actually happened.
So you don't use your imagination? That's fascinating. A little lazy, but fascinating.
In a way, she's the person you love to hate, but without the althoughs that she had to make her more lovable. Besides that, they introduced a girlfriend that seemed interested in the frog without spending every single possible moment with him. Not that the character is needed, but compared to Space Jam's Lola, it could be much worse. Comet doesn't fuck enough bunnies. Well, now that we spoke about the most noticeable things, what's the series' premise? Basically, the same as the first series, and Muppet Television, and Muppets Tonight. Kermit is the producer of a TV show, in this case a talk show hosted by Piggy, and everyone else works on the show, except Rolf for some reason. I think it's because his name is hard to spell.
Who succeeded President William McKinley after he was assassinated in 1901? Hint, it wasn't a dog. Canine Americans still can't hold public office.
And, in this scenario, a celebrity a week has their part, being a complete ass or having one of them be an ass to them. The Muppets handle some sort of personal and or production-related problem.
Piggy's been so great, I've been skipping my pre-show cry.
You pre-show cry? Animal pre-show cry!
And, in the one thing that is really new, they stop and talk to the camera separate from the show, playing with the concept of reality TV or mockumentary, but not being dumb enough to take this seriously for the rest of the episode. Nope, never liked that. Except for the joke in the opening song. And right away, I thought this series wouldn't work. I don't remember a single time when making something closer to a reality show was a good idea. But in the sea of imbecilities trying to be less childish and more in the now, here it basically works. Don't get me wrong, some of these moments don't add anything, but most at least soften the passage from one scene to the other, besides being used in a few fun moments.
One-on-one interviews? What an overused device. You tell the camera how you really feel, and then they cut back to you saying something completely different. I hate these interviews. I love those interviews. Great device.
On the other hand, there are topics in the now that get in and are not exactly well worked. For instance, Fozzie's black. Yep, he has dinner with his girlfriend's parents, the mother supports the idea and kinda suggests she'd like to try something like that, and her father is totally against the relationship and uses the stereotypes against him.
This salmon is just terrific.
Likes the salmon, what a surprise.
However, all the topics are better dealt with.
Of course. Who do you want me to make it out to?
Megan?
Oh, is that your daughter, your wife?
No, Megan.
Oh, you're Megan.
Yep.
Oh, you go, girl. Live your truth, huh?
Okie dokie.
Most of the time.
If it happens outside of work, we don't owe him an explanation.
But it never felt like the issues are just being used. Yet, on one more hand, the comedy is something to be mentioned. First, the physical comedy is great. Just look at this scene. And it is not for nothing. This scene, for instance, makes Gonzo feel his gun soft, and that's his conflict for this episode.
That was awesome!
We also have some way of living humor, which doesn't usually work on me, except this guy.
What did he say?
He said he wants to see you at his house.
I find his design hilarious.
I take messages. I don't judge tone!
But with him we have many Scooter's a mama's boy jokes, which don't always work, and him.
I'm Chip. I'm the IT guy.
What is him? Those eyes are like the enemies in the Great Gianna Sisters, only terrifying. It's as if the cable guy were actually scary.
Hug?
Please.
Those who don't like slapstick or don't have to worry because these jokes are few and short. Most of the humor is from the characters' interaction and, I'd say, very well done. Except for one little detail. The other reason why the world being dark is relevant is that in this world of ours, dark humor has become particularly tricky. Comedy in general is based on people suffering something and getting through it. Dark humor is pretty much the same thing with heavier consequences, but you still don't care, be it because you know the character isn't real, or because the character can get through it. But the line between dark humor and cruelty is pretty thin.
I was going to quit the business and go do something else, you know. Had a shot to go to medical school, but turns out they just wanted to dissect me.
And don't get me wrong, if you like that joke, maybe you aren't humanizing Kermit as much as me, and I get that. But there was a scene that made me really stop. And if you're gonna watch the series, I suggest you skip to this point so you don't watch out of context. And for those who aren't going to see it, here's the scene. Basically, Kermit needs to buy a gift for his girlfriend, Denise, and the only one who can help him is Piggy.
What's your song?
Well, I don't really think we have a song.
You gotta have a song. We nailed ours, remember? You are the sunshine of my life.
Later, Piggy gets there at the last second and brings the perfect gift, together with a bill for her lunch.
Lunch? Caviar?
Yeah. What else are you supposed to dip your lobster in?
A predictable joke, but it works. Even not being so funny works, since it's the ex helping her ex be happy with his new girlfriend. But...
Wait, what's this?
What?
It's a switch.
A switch?
Yeah. Oh my god. I love this song. You are the sunshine of my life. Oh! That's why I'll always be around.
That is just cruel. From this moment on, their song is going to be her song. And every time it plays, while she thinks of them, Kermit is going to remember Piggy, this cruel creature that controls his life at work and now controls his love life, and, if she wishes, can ruin it forever.
I'd do anything for Kermit. I mean, after all, he is my friend. But don't ask your ex to buy a gift for your girlfriend. That is messed up. I think he knows that now.
No. Don't you start with that I wouldn't be the worst witch in existence, but he was mean. No, it doesn't work for the Witch of the West. It doesn't work for Maleficent. And it doesn't work for you. You must suffer. You are the reason for all that is wrong in the Muppets world. I don't care if you're mostly boobs. You must die. But is the show good or not? If you think you'd like the movie's humor with those more serious and emotional moments, but with a few more adult jokes.
Well, have you checked with the band? I bet they'd be happy to buy your cookies.
Hey, yeah. Those guys are always happy.
Yeah, legally now.
You'll probably like it, but it depends on how you react to this scene.
Oh my goodness.
Watch where you're going, Frog.
I'm sorry, Lawrence. Hey, when are you gonna come do the show?
Well, if it keeps on sucking the way it did last night, never!
This is clearly the choice to play with the actor's public image. But for me, it was just cruel.
Hey, Kermit.
Yeah?
I just want to say I'm sorry about what I said about your show sucking.
Yeah?
I just had a really rough night.
Oh, I'm sorry. What happened?
I watched your show, and it sucked!
The first time was not really funny, the second was just cruel. But don't get me wrong, to me, this cruel side isn't so frequent as to ruin the series. Miss Piggy's scene is one of the most interesting things I've seen. The series had 13 episodes and ABC has ordered 3 more, so maybe it is reaching the network's expectations too. And I'm certainly going to watch the next 6 in 2016, because if there's something that is really new in variety shows, is the inclusion of the negative side of humanity.
Oh!
So as long as they don't overdo it and keep it interesting, let's dissect the frog. Not that that's related in any way.